I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even if nobody else believes, I'm not going down that easily. So don't give up on me.
Hey everyone, are you rad for Christ? Are you fired up for Jesus? Welcome back to another episode of Radical Christianity, the talk show that highlights God in action. I'm Drew, your host, and it means a lot that you've joined us today. Well, folks, today we take you to Hollywood, a place known for its advertising motto, sex sells, where it seems like some celebrities are more well known for their wild love life than their artistry. Not all of them, though. Some are known for their absence of love life. Award-winning musician Lenny Kravitz, who just turned 60, recently shared in an interview that he has been celibate by choice for over 10 years. Wow, that's a long time, especially in Hollywood. I guess maybe Los Angeles is the city of angels. Or not. I gotta ask, though, do you think the last girl that dated him takes the credit or blame for his celibacy? I mean, it's not you, it's me, right? Okay. Really, though, according to the rock icon, it's a spiritual thing. In an earlier interview, Kravitz has even said, I really do use Christ as my example, and I try to live this life and not just BS with it. Can I get an amen for that? And he's not the only one. Celibacy is becoming a new on-trend practice that more celebrities are turning to as a way to honor their future partner's spirituality, recharge, or focus on their creativity. Take Justin Bieber, for example. He revealed that before marrying his wife Hailey, he went on a mission to fix his legitimate problem with sex through celibacy. He told Vogue, God doesn't ask us not to have sex for him because he wants rules and stuff. He's like, I'm trying to protect you from hurt and pain. Sometimes people have sex because they don't feel good enough, because they lack self-worth. I wanted to rededicate myself to God in a way because I really felt it was better for the condition of my soul. And I believe that God blessed me with Hailey as a result. There are perks. You get rewarded for good behavior. Now, that reminds me, what did the abstinent monk do for his birthday? Celebrate. You know, like celebrate, but none of the fun. No, I'm kidding. Hey, folks, I see nothing wrong with declaring yourself a recycled virgin. I mean, why not? If some people can identify as any gender or animal they wish, why can't they identify as a virgin? Or why can't a divorcee or Charlie Sheen identify as a virgin? You know, some preach abstinence because they don't want to risk pregnancy before marriage. Is anyone going to ask, how did that work out for Mary? I mean, just saying, even Jesus got nailed. Okay. All right. Hey, this reminds me of some of the rallies that were held in years past to encourage abstinence. Plenty of people signed up, but nobody came. It turns out the Bible has actually a lot to say when it comes to matters of celibacy, marriage, and sex. And it is open to interpretation, so I'm not here to pass judgment. However, it does say in 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. You can take that as you will, but I think you get the point. I have a question for you. What belt did the nun wear to her karate class? Well, her chastity belt, of course. All right, here's another. When do nuns become celibate? When they get into the habit. All right, everyone, enough of that. So tell me, are you rad for Christ? Fired up for Jesus? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this next guest is a good friend of mine. I can't wait for you to meet him. Let's have a huge, warm welcome for Bill Emery. Bill, how you doing? Doing good. Please have a seat.
Yeah. Looks vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's the same studio for the Everything Sparkle show.
Yeah. You're not Sparkle. Not even close. That's okay. Yeah.
All right, Bill.
Hey.
Welcome to Radical Christianity.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was in the green room. I was listening to your monologue. Funniest monologue I've heard you do in years. So enjoy it.
I'm glad you thought so.
Well,
So it's actually overdue that you would come and be on the show. You know.
yeah, I would think so.
We've had your pastor on the show.
Yeah, you had Pastor Tim on the show. Yeah.
We've had the colonel on the general on the show.
Yeah.
Right, I'm like colonel. Somebody that's because Sparkle got me doing that.
Right. Yeah, that does happen. Yeah, she does get confused sometimes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, the general has been on the show, and
Correct.
Now you're on this show.
Yeah. You got the Biola Congregational Church historian. So
Are you the official historian?
I am the official historian for the Biola Congregational Church.
How did you score that?
That was an interesting gig. I was the unofficial historian for the 144th Fighter Wing for 19 years, and I maintained all the static display airplanes out there at the guard base, and then but I also gathered all the historical information for the unit, and so with that they sent me to various schools at the Air Force Museum to go ahead and learn exactly how to do it, properly. And so then when I retired in 2008, I just picked up the job. It's a volunteer job, of course, for the church.
Right.
We're approaching 100 years old, and so we needed to start gathering.
Didn't you guys already have your 100-year celebration or whatever?
Yes, we did 2 years ago.
Right.
2 years ago.
How are you approaching 100 years when you... Didn't you pass it?
Yeah, it's, like, like a kidney stone. Yeah, but it was a good turnout, and a majority of all of the first generation church members are gone now, but we still have beginning of the third generation and onward, still with us. So that was good. But compiling all the things that happened, from 1921 all the way to 2001 was an interesting job.
I'm going to need to go and make a trip over there and do an on location.
Yeah.
Of it to see the historic building.
You know what? It was funny. We had a guy come out, and he was a contractor, and he looked at the beams that the church is actually is put together with, and he said, "Those beams have not aged a day." I mean, they're absolutely almost the way that they were when the men of the church built the church in 1921. So, the whole sanctuary was put together in about a year and a half from, start to finish. And then we added on Sunday school rooms and then the banquet room. But the original parsonage was behind the church, and then we built the new parsonage, in '68, and tore the old one down and made it a parking lot, So the church has seen some renovations, of course, because you have to,
right,
to keep it 100 years, and but the original pews were all wood, and everything was in German. And all of the ministry and everything was all in German, and it was hour and a half, 2 hour services. So imagine sitting in a wooden pew for 2 hours. And
I can imagine. Men
sat on one side and women sat on the other.
Ah.
Yeah, it's real interesting. I have pictures of all that, and it's really a unique thing to put yourself back in time and try to put yourself in those experiences. Everybody wore suits and ties. The women wore dresses, hats. It was just a different time where people came to church and they worshipped in their Sunday best, which is a term which nobody ever uses now.
Yeah,
but
they use it, but it's usually in jest.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's. At one time we had 300 people, on the books, and now we're down to about 100. But we're the oldest, we're the surviving church out of the 12 Volga River German churches that were built at the turn of the century. So it's worked out.
So that's interesting. So. I mean, I've seen pictures from the website.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't. I mean, it's not the same as I'm sure being there in person. So.
No, we've completely renovated the sanctuary. We did it in a red instead of. It's in a red and a white, scheme now, and now we actually have benches that are cushioned, so it's a lot easier, And the church services have actually gone down to an hour, so. But we've had German ministers all the way up to the one we have now, Pastor Tim. So
is he preaching German still?
No. We stopped that back in the 60s, because what happened was the people didn't teach their kids German, and because they believed, like my grandparents did when they came, from the Volga, that okay, we're in America, we're going to learn the English language, and that's all we're going to speak. And so they were very strict on that, and which was was you lost a little bit of the heritage by doing that, I feel anyway. But we're surviving.
That's cool. I mean, surviving 100 members. That's I guess they say the average is 72. So that's above average then.
Yeah,
not mega church, but
No. And for us to have survived as long as we have, and it was basically because of farmers, who started the church. And Biola was a German community at first. It's not the Hispanic community that it is today, mainly because the German farmers decided, well, I don't want to drive 5 miles out to the ranch, so we're just going to build a house on the ranch. Well, when they did that, then the Hispanic community moved into Biola and kind of, basically, took it over. So, but yeah, so we're doing pretty good, for what we've got to work with.
Yeah, I mean, Biola is not that far from, like Shaw 99. So.
No, it's 7 miles west of 99, but if you want a real traditional church service where you actually sing out of hymnals and the Word of God is preached, out of the Bible, then that's kind of where you want to go. And there's not very many churches nowadays that have a choir, an organist. We're really a throwback to the 1950s, I would probably say.
Or, the 70s even, because, I mean, the 70s and 80s at the church I grew up in, there was a choir, and we still sing out of hymnals. And, I mean, it wasn't till, late 80s and, the 90s when, churches started shifting, and they had bands, and then they would convert the gym to be, an extended auditorium.
Room. Yeah. No, and you were talking about choirs. Our choir director we have now has been doing it 30 years for us, and he said, I think I'm going to retire. Well, everybody panicked because you can't find a choir director. Absolutely, you. I don't care if you pay him $1 million a year, you cannot find one.
I'll do it for $1 million a year.
Well, I know, you're cheap. So but we really got into a panic over that because and then what are you going to do? I mean, a big section of the church is the service is now in jeopardy. So he decided that he'll stay on and continue. And
well, see, what he should do is he should have somebody in the church be apprenticed. You know what I mean? Maybe even somebody from the choir, and you show them how he does it.
That is an interesting thing. But when it comes to the music, you really have got to be gifted to do that job. We just see him up there, doing this, and you don't think. But there's a lot more to it than what you think, and so you have to be dedicated in order to do that job. It's not a job.
Does he direct the band? Do you have live musicians as well? Or?
No. We have one gentleman that plays piano and also the organ. So it's and that's the way it's been since 1921. So nothing's really changed outside of the choir robes and the faces that are in them, throughout the generations, But we have some people who've been in the choir 40 years. They're getting along the older set now, and so we hate to see them go. But eventually everybody times out. But the choir loft is full, for the most part. I know Tim would like to have it fuller, but it is what it is. But they always give a great Easter cantata, and it's they do a remarkable job with what they've got to work with, and I just give them kudos every time I hear them. They just do a wonderful job.
Nice. Well, I mean, especially if you've been practicing the same songs for 40 years.
Yeah, the hymnal I think our hymnal has got 970 hymns, and I think they've probably done them all at least 50 times, but throughout the years. But that's okay. It's what you got to work with.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a hard number to hit, though. Like 900 something hymnals and hymns,
right.
And that's a lot. I mean, if you only have 52 Sundays a year.
Yeah.
And you're doing, like, let's say you do 3 to 5 songs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a long time to get to that number.
Yeah, well, you figure, 4 weeks out of the month, and then you got, times 12, times 100. You can pretty much go through a hymnal several times, within a certain amount of time.
I bet there's songs in there that no one's ever done.
No, I can pretty much tell you we've done them all.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. I don't think that there's. I don't think there's one that over the years since the beginning that one has not been sung by the choir. Yeah.
That's impressive then, because I know that, like, I flipped through hymnals and, like, what song is this? Never even heard this one before.
Yeah, sometimes it just kind of pops out at you, But I've been there since 1986, and there's songs, that we come across from time to time that I never sang. It's brand new to me. Yeah. But then you get Esther, who says, "Oh no, we've sung that 15 times." But but it was before I was born. That's kind of the deal. Right.
The song itself dated out, I guess.
Yes. Right.
All right, so we went a little off our normal pattern. We usually go from testimony to mission.
Oh,
but we normally. But so we'll transition at this point to.
Sure.
So, tell us, your testimony. How'd you meet Jesus?
I was kind of a Johnny come lately to the party. When it came to Christ. When I first moved here in '74, they were building the basement for People's Church, and I when it was finally finished, I believe it was in '75. A friend of mine that I lived with, or that I lived on the same block with, him and I were the same age. We went to school together, and we went over for a tour of the sanctuary. At that time, they only had the sanctuary and the offices, had been built. They were working on the gym. And there was an associate pastor that took us for a tour of the sanctuary. And throughout the tour, he was telling us about Christ. And he wanted to, kind of lay the Lord down on us. And then at the very end, he said, "You guys want to accept Jesus as your personal Savior?" And that's where it happened, right there on the steps, on the right hand, or the left hand side, of the sanctuary. And at the time, I knew who Jesus was, but I didn't know him, And it sounded good, and it sounded safe, and so I did. not really understand what I was getting into. Well, fast forward to about 4 years later, I was in high school, and a good friend of mine, Scott Poole, he went ahead and he asked me to join this youth group that he was with at Friends Community Church. I kind of hesitant about it, but I went one time anyway, and I said, the girls were really cute. So I said,
isn't it funny how that kind of will...
yeah. And I said, well, this could work. This could work. And so I went there all the way through high school. And then that youth group, we did something with the guys at Biola. We had a joint party type thing, and two youth groups meet. And our youth minister at Friends had moved on, and he was just a really, really, really cool guy. And but he decided to go to another church, and he kind of took the luster away from the group. He was the kind of the cement that held it together, for the youth group. And so, and that kind of waned on me. So I joined Biola, and then their college and career group, and been there ever since. From 86 through today. So yeah, that's kind of how it was. And then that's really where the spiritual growth started. We had Pastor Knock, who's Carl's dad, and Pastor Knock he was one of those guys that really challenged you to listen for the sermon and pull things out, and that was probably the best education that I ever received in the terms of theology. You had to intently listen to the message, and he was really a well-spoken. He was a wordsmith. He could dial it in to where you can get it, but you had to reach for it in order to get something out of it. So you took it with you, past the church parking lot, when church was over. So, which was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Carl's dad was your old pastor.
Yeah, matter of fact, Pastor Knock married Stormy and I.
Oh.
Yeah, my wife and I.
Nice.
Yeah. As he married majority of the kids, I call them, they're full adults now. The kids that were in our youth group at the time, he married all of us. And then when he retired, Pastor Ed showed up. And then he kind of carried on after that, and then Tim came after Ed, retired. So yeah, so it worked out.
Yeah, that sounds like an interesting turnover. Pastor Tim should be there for a while. He's still kind of young.
Yeah. Well, unless we get tired of him and say, hit the road. But I don't see that happening. No, he's a great guy, and he's led the church. He's been there now well over 10 years. So normally we keep ministers 10 to 15 years, which is kind of unheard of majority of the time, unless you're like G.L. Johnson or, something of that nature. But a small country church like that that has, a minimal budget, it doesn't keep ministers long. They're there majority of the time 5-6 years, and then they move on to a bigger church. But with us, we seem to get ministers, and they really love the people because it's mainly made up of farmers, teachers, and other people, that have various different occupations. But their families have been there for since the 50s or the 40s, so. And they just fall in love with the place, and then they stay, until they get to be retirement age. But yeah, I see Pastor Tim staying, for quite a while,
Yeah, well, he's a little ways from retirement.
I believe he is. Yeah. Again, unless we get tired of him, he's like, you're out of here. But yeah.
So okay, so you were obviously saved before you went into the military.
Yes.
Okay. And how did that go for you?
Well, you know what? It went okay. I joined a few years after high school. So, and during those time periods, you weren't persecuted, for your faith, or told to shut up, because you mentioned Jesus, or prayed at the chow hall, table. Matter of fact, that was encouraged, because moral conduct was first and foremost. And the military at that time, in the 80s, still believed that, Christianity was something that that was a good foundation, that gave you a good moral character, which allowed you to do the military side of the job. So, but yeah, I never had any issues with that at all. Yeah, and it worked out. I've always been the individual that, it's tough to talk about Christ because it's not something that you normally do, which we should, but we don't.
Something I normally do for some reason.
Yeah, and so I just decided, somehow just let people see Christ through me and through my actions, and the quality of individual that I try to be, versus putting it out there and being a threat, because that can happen.
Yeah, well, I imagine in the military you sit around saying nothing for a long time.
Well, you never sit around. You're always doing something. Yeah. But no, I understand.
When you get past the hurry up and wait point.
Yeah, that does happen from time to time.
Yeah. So, now you you work over at the airport now.
Correct.
So you're still around planes all the time,
Yeah.
and then you volunteer over at Castle Air Museum.
Yes.
And that's when we're talking about the general. That's who we're talking about.
Right.
So you take care of the F-16.
Yes.
And that plane is like one of the prettier ones on the lot.
It is the prettiest one on in the museum. Yeah. It was funny when I retired in 2008 from the Guard. I never really thought I'd go back into aviation. I helped my cousin out in the almond harvest for a few years, and then I got a phone call out of the blue. A guy named Kevin Johnson, and he said, "Hey," he says, "I got a parts position opened, and would you care for it?" And I said, "Sure." I was retired, but I really didn't want to go back to work full time. But that's okay. It's anytime you're around airplanes, it's not a bad thing. So, been there, 12 years now. So yeah, I haven't had any complaints. 35 years in aviation is a good run. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a long time.
It is. And then in 2016, the museum, Joe Prizzo, he called me and he said, "Hey, we're getting 543 out of the boneyard, and would you be interested in coming up and maintaining it once we get it up and, get it put on display?" And I said, "Hey, I'll paint it." So Carl and we ran up there, and along with Jeff Heyer, who was the restoration manager, he helped us, and we all three did it together. So yes, we painted the airplane in about 3 days, and we've been maintaining it, ever since. So it's a little piece of my history that I got back, that I can, even though it doesn't fly or anything, which is the greatest thing, because all I have to do is wash it, and maintain it. So I don't have to work on it. But so it's kind of neat to have a little piece of your past that you can go to 2 or 3 times a month and kind of play with and make it look nice and talk to people about it. Yeah. So the Lord gave me that back, which I never saw coming. Yeah. That's the neat thing about Christ, is that He'll bring you back to certain things that you never thought that you would ever go back to, and so sometimes you have to sit there and you have to have that, that eureka moment that, hey, this is something that He's giving you to fill a void that you once had. And it's really special, yeah.
So how has God been using you, since you've gotten out of the military? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you have your son who just graduated.
Yeah. Christian graduated last night from Justin Garza, first year, or the first graduation class. graduating class, should I say. So, so we went there last night, and it was good. He hates airplanes. He can't stand airplanes. But no, the Lord has really blessed me. And He's always given me an avenue, to go down, whether it be the museum, the historian position at the church, talking to people, at work, that kind of a thing. A missionary, I'm not. It's just, and He knows not to call me for that job, but He does get a chance to use, somebody like myself, in situations, and that I'm good at, and they do come up occasionally, so which is good. I'm kind of like, the Christian in reserve, yeah.
That's funny, like Christian reserves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. What is next for Bill now? I mean, obviously you have your son graduating. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to be at home for a while. Or are you going to send him away to college?
No, Chris is probably going to live with us for quite a while, which is fine. He's a great kid. He's going to do online classes at Clovis Community, and he's going to do an animation drawing type scenario. He's going to go for his certificate in animation. So that'd be good. That'd be nice, and kind of pull the throttles back a little bit. I believe, when you have a kid in high school, or multiple kids in high school, you're running around, you're doing this, you're doing that, man, now that he's graduated, we can kind of pull the throttles back a little bit and just kind of relax, and I get my wife back, Stormy was great. She had this command center set up at the house, 2 screens, one for all his classes, one for all his, turning in, for grades, and the other one was where he was at in real time, and he's in the restroom now, or he's in English class or whatever, It was like you walk in and think you were in NORAD, There's just, but yeah, so we're gonna enjoy a little bit of time off before he starts his online class in August, late August. Yeah.
Any trips planned or anything like that?
No. Well, next year. Next year we have 30th wedding anniversary. So, my wife wants to go to Disneyland. So we're going to, for
Good
3
choice.
days.
Good
3
choice.
days. Well, yeah. And I wanted to do the Alaskan cruise. But she said, no, I really like to go to Disneyland just for 3 days. And okay. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to argue with that one because Disneyland's one of my favorite places to go. So
yeah, I like it. I like riding the steam train, which is my favorite ride. That and the submarine ride.
Oh, yeah.
But
do they still have the submarine?
Yeah, they do. Oh, yeah, they do. So
I haven't been on that one in a while.
Yeah, it's Last time we were there a few years ago, it was still up and running.
Cool. Have you been to Galaxy's Edge?
No.
Yeah, see, that's where you need to spend your time.
Yeah.
Burying yourself in all that Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of a Star Trek guy.
Oh,
so yeah, there we are.
No, that's not. That's definitely not that.
No, that's enemy territory, so to speak. Enemy territory. You're right.
All right, Bill. We're out of time. Thank
Wow.
you for coming on Radical Christianity.
Hey, not a problem.
And hanging out with us and
Yeah.
sharing and as you guys didn't know, Bill's a good friend of mine. So we talk on the regular. So
yeah. We need Jeb to come out and do that live stream out at the church.
yeah, we need to go on location. We need to do that and pick up some visuals of the sanctuary and yeah.
Pastor Tim will love to go ahead and take you around and show you everything.
Yeah, well, we definitely need to do that.
We have some really, really cool old pictures of the church, and that they took with film that was just, I don't know what kind of film it was, but allowed us to blow these pictures up to like 48 by 36. So it was, and the detail is really amazing, and which is really kind of strange because back in 1921, cameras were a luxury, and not everybody had them.
Well, that's the beauty of film over digital, right? Because film, you can actually, it depends on the grain of the negative.
Yeah.
Right? So you can actually expand an image from a negative to super huge if the quality of the negative is and it's really not it can be the image of the negative, but it's more the material the negative was associated to.
Right.
So it's
you'll see all those photos, of the church and whatnot. So it's really, so we got one of the front of the church. It had been like 1926, and then there was a 1920s Cadillac, black Cadillac sitting in front of it, and so it gives you kind of a neat perspective. Every time I pull up the front of the church, the Cadillac was sitting right there, 110 years ago.
Right.
So, but it's been great. It's been great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Well, we have our little saying here, and that is, you're definitely rad for Christ, definitely fired up for Jesus.
Yes.
And we love to see that here.
Yes.
God bless you, brother.
Hey, God bless you. Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's housekeeping time. Yes, housekeeping time is the awkward moment where I sit here and talk to you about how Radical Christianity is funded off of donations from viewers like you. It would be very wonderful for us and a great blessing if you could send us whatever amount God has put on your heart. And it's really easy to do. You just go to our website, radforchrist.com, and that's RAD, the number 4, Christ.com, and go up at the top of the navigation. There is a donate link. You click on that, and that will take you to the Mr. E Christian Media donation page. Mr. E Christian Media is the 501c3 that we operate within. And there is a whole list of projects. So you just pick Radical Christianity from the drop-down and put whatever amount God has put on your heart to give. And that money will go directly to this show and producing this show so that you guys can get great episodes, great guests, all kinds of useful information. And we hope that we can continue to serve you for a long time. So if you're feeling the need, if God's moving you, we would really appreciate that. And if you can't do that, that's totally okay. We understand. Not everybody's got the kind of money to donate. But you can share the show on social media with a friend, email, something like that. It's really easy to do. Or if sharing the show is a lot for you, or maybe even in addition to sharing the show, you can pray for us. Pray for the guests, pray for the show, pray for the people that work on the show. Pray that we get more funding. Those are the kinds of things that you can do for us, and we'd really appreciate it. And we really appreciate you. And I want to say thank you for watching, and now on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this next guest, he's going to perform for us, and we're going to sit and talk to him after that. So let's have a huge warm welcome for Bobby Thorne Jr.
I'm here again, asking for your forgiveness, for your mercy. I don't know what else you expect. I ain't perfect and I never been. All I can do is try. But I got something to ask you, Lord.
Keep me from all evil. Lord, keep me as I travel down this road.
Yeah. Keep me from evil, God. I've been praying you see me, God. I've been walking on this road thinking God got so many problems and I'm trying to hide. Talking to you ain't making sense now. Pick the liquor up and put the Bible down. I know I got a lot of work to do that wasn't working for me. I'm convinced now. Said it's off and on. Say I love you, but I know you notice that I treat you wrong. Say you coming back, but why you take so long? Will they still love me when I'm dead and gone? Got a lot of questions that I want to ask, but the Bible say they never question you. And through everything you never told a lie. And it's hard to love you when I'm dead inside. Y'all thought I want to smoke with the Lord. In a battle with the devil, it's a war. Been working all day and I'm sore. Got a God on my side I adore. And I do have thoughts that I shouldn't have. I'm a sinner, but I left it all in the past. And I won't back down from the battle. Yeah, I know my head is hella mad. I just want to get back right. Lost my last fight, lost my last job, lost my appetite, lost my freedom too. They tried to take my life. I was in that cell that made me question why I ain't doing wrong. Had them shackles all around my feet. CL tell me move along. Had to stay strong, but I know that God had my back. Now I'm in a better mode, yeah.
Thank you for taking me in with all of my losses and all of my sins. For all of the times that I did what I did. Took a step back, now I'm breathing again. I lost sight of the light, now I see it again. I lost family too and I lost all my friends. Now the universe is back on my side. I can feel my chakra and the stars align like whoa. Whoa. Keep me from enemies, all of my foes. Keep me protected while I'm on the road. Needed assurance, I needed to grow. How can I fight these demons on my own? Give me your guidance and keep me God. Whoa. Keep me from enemies, all of my foes. Keep me protected while I'm on the road. Needed assurance, I needed to grow. How can I fight these demons on my own? Give me your guidance and keep me God.
A little bit of guidance, reassurance. Everything in life that we have doubts about, I always fall back to you. And I know I strayed away a bit, but I'm here now. Thank you for everything. Everything I've been through, you never left my side. That's why I say,
Lord, keep me from all evil. Lord, keep me as I travel down this road.
Bobby,
How's it going? How's it going?
welcome to Radical Christianity.
Oh, yeah, good to be here. Good to be here.
So that was a pretty cool song, man.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
so did you mix all those beats yourselves?
I do everything. As far as the beats go, I do make beats, but I tend to, bless other people's beats. I go on. Of course, I mix and master everything myself. Use my own engineering tools, everything, program myself. Been doing music since I was about 13, 14, so I have quite a bit of years and experience in, mixing and mastering. So
Yeah. Okay. So you performing anywhere?
currently not at the moment. I'm working on my album. So until I'm done with that, I'm kind of just focused in the studio right now and everything, not really performing and stuff, just kind of focused on other things right now.
Right on. Okay, so the way that we do things here on the show is we start off with testimony,
Okay.
and then we lead that into your mission. So,
Okay.
like how God's working on you, all right?
Yeah.
So please, share with us how you met Jesus.
Well, I met Jesus. My dad, growing up, my dad and my mom was real heavy in church, into the Christian church. I went to Rising Star Missionary Baptist Church. That's my home church. I went there, like I said, got baptized at 8 years old. My dad became an ordained deacon. Mom and everything into Sunday school, had me in the choir, everything, So I grew up around the church environment, church household. So it was just, kind of something that I grew up just around and ended up believing in God and just finding Jesus, and it just never left.
Nice. Okay, that's cool. It never left. That's a fun story. Yeah. Most people, have those fallbacks.
They have and, it happens, of course. Like I have setbacks, and as a human, of course, as somebody with a mind that thinks, I tend to stray away. Of course, I tend to wander off and do things that aren't really according to God or whatever. But I believe at the same time that God is always going to put me back on track, regardless of where I need to be. So I just keep my firm beliefs in it, and going to church. Being raised by, both my parents, being blessed with that, just taught me a lot of morals and knowledge in life that I need to know to carry with me in the future. So
right on. Mm-hmm. All right. So you've been doing music for a long time.
Yeah, very long.
What made that be your calling? Just because you were in the choir, or what?
Really, as far as like the choir, it was more singing. I just kind of started listening to a couple of artists, rappers, of course, growing up, and I'm like, I just wonder if I can do it, because I've always had this fascination of, I wonder how things are made, music and the process behind it. And so, like I said, when I got my first little piece of equipment, my computer and everything, had the program, the Fruity Loops, started making beats, and I was wondering, okay, if I can catch the rhythm of a beat while making it, I wonder if I can write something to it. And I never knew until I actually wrote my first song. And like I said, I would just practice in my room performing it, and then I got a mic, and when I recorded it on the mic, I'm like, oh, like, this is how it sounds. This is how, this is what I do. So I've heard, a lot of people like tell me like, oh, like maybe you should just pursue it more often, pursue it more. And I'm like, I just took it like kind of as a joke at first until I like actually developed a strong passion for writing, So once I realized like I love to write, like this is where I find my like comfort, you know what I mean? I became far more comfortable with it, and that's when I just took off with it.
Nice.
So.
Okay. So, what do your parents think?
Unfortunately, my mom passed away when I was 22.
Oh, man,
my dad loves it. My dad,
sorry to hear about your mom.
No problem. She was a huge fan though. From the few performances she got to see, when I actually performed at a few churches, I used to go out to the Juneteenths. I used to perform out there. So we have a couple of shows that she actually, got the chance to experience. But she was a huge fan of me. She loved me. So thankful, to have those experiences with her. My dad, he supports me strongly too. So they pretty much enjoy, everything I make. So I'm just pretty much blessed.
Yeah, right on. So, you said you're recording now.
Yeah.
Okay, have you released anything?
I haven't released anything new necessarily due to the fact that I'm not sure which songs that I feel are like, that I have a favorite of. So it takes me like a lot of listens where I'm like, okay, like that one, and I'll create something new, and then I'm like, I should release that one on top of that one, and I'll get different perspectives from other people, like, oh, which one do you like better? So it kind of just like leaves me in a mind boggle of like which one I should release, which one I shouldn't. So I tend to like release multiple songs at once. You know what I mean? Like, so like I'll probably go a day I'll release this song. A few weeks later, I'll release this song, you know what I mean? Just to see kind of what the crowd likes more. So I'm still kind of working on which ones I do want to release and whatnot.
Can it be found on Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that
yet? The new music, no. I do have some music that I have uploaded. I go by Official Just Be Music on YouTube.
You go by, say it again?
Official Just Be Music with
Official a K. Just Be Music?
Just Be Music. JUSBMUSIK.
Okay.
And it's all one word on YouTube. So I do have, some primary music on there, but I do tend to make stationary music due to the fact that I know, of course, I feel like God is pulling me in, and that's my gift, so I'm just still finding, like I said, my venture in life, because we all wander off and tend to, stray away. So like I'm at a path where I'm still just having conversations with God every day, praying, just trying to focus on building back up my relationship and everything where I'm supposed to be in life. So I feel like I haven't really released anything until I'm comfortable enough to share that with the world.
Okay. Are you? Do you volunteer at your church? Do you serve anywhere?
Right now, I haven't been to my home church. I actually have been visiting other churches or whatever. I've been going around because a couple of my friends want me to, invite me to their churches here and there. So I've stopped at a few churches for the past. Probably about the past few months, I've been, visiting other churches just to see kind of what the dynamic is like of other people and how different churches, use, their gifts and bring other people in and stuff. So I haven't really been doing any programs or projects with the church recently, but
because you're church hopping.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I haven't joined the church. I was just kind of like visiting, of course, like stop by this Sunday here, go Sunday there. You know what I mean? But I'm always more than welcome to just like help, do any work of God or any work for good to change anybody's life. So I just see it as, if I can be there to help somebody with something or to be a blessing to somebody, then I'll just use that as, my gift or whatever it is, whether it's music or helping somebody with whatever I can help with. I just try to use that and take it.
Okay. So what's next for you? I mean, obviously you're working on this.
Album I'm working on is called Headlines. And I'm just, like I said, working on it to at least just try to see where people, would feel about certain situations. I use this album to actually vent and open up. This is why I do music in the first place, to actually vent and open up, because I'm a very private person. So I use music to like express myself whenever I'm in a moment or whenever I'm doubting something or doubting myself. I use this as in the song Keep Me, which is the one I performed. I use it to just, relay my message. And so, like I said, I'm really just working on more music, building and growing. family, kids. You know, I just want to, you know, make sure everything is in order and set. You know, so
yeah. So you have these. Do you have any what would be called secular music that you've done?
Yeah, I do have some secular music that I've done. You can find that also on my YouTube at Official Just Be Music. I do plan to release this album on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, everything. So it'll be available on all platforms. But you know, for right now, Official Just Be Music, secular music. The song "Keep Me," I have the official video on my YouTube channel. So you know, there's that. And
the official video.
yeah, the official video. Well, yeah, I shot and directed everything myself with the help of my son. So on the video, like I said, my son and his best friend, they're actually, at the time, they were 9 and 10 years old, actually shot the video for me. I directed everything, told them how to shoot it, everything, did all the editing, cuts, all of that myself. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right, and that can be found on Official Just Be Music,
Just
and
Be
that's
Music.
with a K.
Yeah,
right?
Music
All,
with a K.
all one word on YouTube. Yeah. So, all right. When do you anticipate the album coming out? And why aren't now? I understand you want to release it all at once, but you should be just trickling them songs out.
Yeah. Okay, so I do. So speaking of that, I do have 3 complete songs that I'm getting ready to release next month. And I hope the album. I'm aiming for a date of late October for the album release. I was aiming near October 17th. So hopefully by the 17th, if not no later than the 20th. So.
Okay. So that song you just performed. Tell us about that song.
That song was one of my deeper songs, and in that time and moment, I was in a dark place in life, struggling between, you know, finding myself with, you know, why I was feeling the way I was feeling as far as like, you know, going through situations that I go through in life. I just didn't understand certain things that was happening around me, so I didn't really understand how to feel about certain things, and at that time, I was like I said, just struggling to find like, oh, is God even real? Like, why is he allowing me to go through this? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I was struggling with my faith. And of course, as, you know, Christian, we stray on faith and we always tend to, you know, we fall short of the glory of God, you know? So in this moment, I was, you know, just down bad. I just went through a lot of personal things that actually, you know, was pretty close to breaking me, you know, which I felt like. And so in this song, it just came from, like I said, a dark place where I just needed to talk to God and vent, you know, and so I prayed about it, you know, and I just, you know, just picked up and wrote, and, you know, it just came out. I actually recorded the song through my cell phone. It was all recorded through the cell phone. At this time, I didn't have any music equipment. I just had my laptop, my cell phone, so I just used the mic on my phone, you know, no plug-in mic, anything, just the direct mic off my cell phone, you know, uploaded the vocal and just got to it, and so.
Well, that's cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's encouraging for those of you who only have a cell phone.
Yeah. It was, you know, I just used it. You know, like I said, I felt like I just like this is gonna be my testimony. I felt like I had to get it out there, you know, and so I feel like that song was one of my personal favorites. You know what I mean? Especially like I said, with my son being able to be a part of it, helping with the video and whatnot, and so I just, like I said, used music to vent and express myself, and so that was you know, a direct conversation that was personal between me and God, which I just wanted to share with the world, because I was like, this is like, I'm talking to God, and I just feel like I just, people might feel the same, you know, there's some people that might be going through the same, or that might feel like, oh, like, you know, just because we have, like, a lot of people are scared to question things in life, you know what I mean? So I used that song to just open up, you know what I mean? That variety of questions that I do have and of doubts that I do go through, you know, every day, and I just, you know, I use the music to just clear my mind. So you're going to release some songs here pretty soon. Yeah. And you don't have any performances booked or lined up yet? No, I don't. Not currently, no.
Well, what would you want what kind of things would you want to set up for yourself?
I do plan on this album bringing me performances, shows, more travel, just more open door opportunities to, you know, do more features with artists. You know, a couple of more interviews, you know what I mean? Just things to set myself up for, you know, to build my name and to just, you know, let everyone know, you know, that, you know, music is what I love to do. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you got to perform to circulate the sound.
Yeah.
You know, so are you planning on performing at churches, at nightclubs?
I plan on performing. I don't really, make that type of music for the club. I don't really make club type songs. Like most of my music, like I said, it's just me venting, expressing my life. So I do plan on performing, at venues, open venues or whatever the occasion may be based on the song. You know what I mean? So churches, if they're open to or want me to perform, I'm more than willing to, go and like I said, share my message with the world.
Yeah.
So
do you just do everything yourself? You said you're recording all that kind of stuff, so you're your own management.
Yeah,
and
I'm my own.
Your own roadie.
Yeah, I'm my own engineer. I'm my own everything. I don't. Like I paid for studio times a few times, and that's only due to songs where I was either showing support to, my other friends who do music, or I just needed a song done right then and there, and I didn't have my equipment, But I do everything from my room. I just do everything, record it all, mix it, master it, and it's a lot that goes through it. It's a long process, which is why it takes longer for me to probably release music, because I do have to sit there and get everything right, and you got to have the right ear for it, go back and edit whatever's not, right, and just find the right pitch and tone for everything. So it just takes a while, but like I said, the songs are coming, and they'll be on the way. October, the album is dropping. So
what are the other songs that are going to be coming out?
The other songs, I do have a song. The album is named Headlines. I do have a song named Headlines coming out. I have a few other songs that I actually, a couple of freestyles that I literally, quick advancements that I just wanted to throw on the album due to me feeling, how I was feeling in the moment. I put it on the song, bam, and it just came out right. So Headlines is a song that I actually will be dropping real soon on YouTube next month. The song Headlines will be dropping.
And what's that about?
Headlines is about just me wanting the best for life, the best part of myself, and the best part of like everything. But then again, it's like it's like kind of like a switch. Like it's like I want all of this. I want the headlines, and I want everything around me. You know what I mean? But then it's like I want to make headlines for this reason. You know what I mean? I want to make headlines not for the popularity or the star status of it, or for the money or for the fame. Like I want to make headlines to try to make a change in somebody else's life, or I want to make headlines to, you know what I mean? Like I want my name here known for a more positive reason, not just for, oh, this guy had this or this dude had this and that. Like, no, it's for what I've done and for the person I am. So.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to say say if there was three main messages that you were trying to communicate with the music that you're putting out right now, what would that be?
It would be to always believe in yourself. That's definitely number one. To always have faith, and to always have faith, and to just always, you know what I mean, always keep pushing, no matter what, you know what I mean, no matter what you go through in life, whether it's, you could be down and out. I've been through some dark times, of course, but it's never the end of the road. You always got to just trust God, put one foot after the other, and just like I said, let God be your light and guide you through whatever path He has you walking on in life.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on to Radical Christianity, performing and sharing your story with our audience.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
When you release your album and stuff like that, make sure you let us know so we can help push it for you. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
All right, cool.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of Radical Christianity. It always pleases us to know that you came and joined us. The audience is growing, and we have been doing pretty good with the show. I want to thank you because you guys are all part of our little family. So there's a person out there right now who's watching, who's been kicking around this idea of whether or not to dive all the way into following Jesus. Now, a relationship with Jesus is never a mistake. I have never known anybody to ever regret having a relationship with Jesus Christ. And it's really, really a simple thing. I mean, all you got to do is just open yourself up and talk to Him, right? And just say, hey, Jesus, I need you. This way I've been doing my life isn't working for me. I need you to step in and take over. I want to lay down my way and do things your way. Turn me into the person that you have designed me to be. Say something like that, and just from your heart, speak to Jesus, and your life will start to change right away. You'll be amazed. Everybody is. And I think that by doing that, you will kind of find the thing that you've been missing in your life. You know, that's what you'll be finding. Anyway, if you do say that prayer while watching this show, I'd really appreciate it if you go to our website, radforchrist.com. That's RAD, the number 4, Christ.com. And on there's a form that says Got Saved. I would love it if you would fill out that form so I could send you a Bible and a little gift to show you that we're here in support of you joining the family of God. Also on the website, there is a form for asking a question. So if you have something that you want to know about this show, about the Bible, about our guests, about people that work on the show, about volunteering, anything like that, math homework, we're going to try and help you answer those questions. And if you have a prayer request, we also have a form for that. So please let us know if there's something that you need help praying for, that you would like us to step in and pray for. Someone praying for you is always a helpful thing, right? We just want you to know that we are here to serve. And this is the most important part of all. And that is that Jesus Christ loves you. And so do I. Thank you for watching Radical Christianity. We'll see you next week.
And I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not me. Even if nobody else believes. I'm not going down that easily, so don't give up on me.